Hello and welcome to Pup and Fig. In this video I'm going to go over how in Avengers Endgame time may be safe, how time may not be screwed. Now in my last video I explained the exact opposite on how the Avengers pretty much destroyed time. But in that video that was all if the timeline was all on one single line. In this video I'm going to be explaining pretty much what the Ancient One had introduced in this movie, and that is how if you were to change something drastic in one timeline, a new one would branch off of that. So if you don't know what that is, I'll go into more depth on that. So it should be pretty simple to explain. I'll take it step by step. But yeah, I am going to lean on that last episode I did on explaining how time may be screwed. I'm going to be referencing that one a little bit, continuing off of that, but pretty much making the exact opposite point. So with that, I hope you enjoy. So like my last video, I'm going to go into this small corner right here because, as I needed last time, I needed a lot of space to help explain my point. So here is the timeline that we see in Avengers Endgame. There's 1970 on the far left, 2023 on the far right, because that is where the Avengers are when they go to time travel. That's when it takes place, not 2018, not 2019. But then 2012 through 2014 are the three different points of time that they go into when they go to time travel to get the Infinity Stones, because they need to get the Infinity Stones in order to undo the snap that Thanos had done. This is what it looks like. The Avengers go from 2023 into these three different points of time, but this is how I pretty much ended in my last video. Two Avengers go from 2012 to 1970, but then pretty much time is screwed because not only do you have Thanos missing 2014 onward, Loki created an alternate rewritten timeline. So pretty much it's chaotic. Just watch that last time travel video I made for you to understand, because that's pretty much all I go over for this. Let me go over Loki again. So I had said the Avengers went from 2023 to 2012 because they needed to get three different Infinity Stones at 2012 from New York. But then, as I said in that last video, time was screwed because Loki got the Tesseract and pretty much rewrote time, because there's a whole lot of events that changed opposed to how we originally saw them in the movies. Now, I'm going to say this is gone, and I'm going to go with this new idea of a branching off reality. So, pretty much this little extended piece of time is the different possibility of Loki getting the Tesseract, possibly giving it to Thanos and all that. That's on there. That's its own timeline now, and the one we see above normally is the one that we saw previously. That is what we see. So here's how it would be applied to Thanos. A few of the Avengers go from 2023 to 2014 to get two different Infinity Stones. But then Thanos discovers the time travel and time travels to 2014. Now before, it had gotten super weird and scary and chaotic to where it caused a paradoxical cycle. Watch that last video to know what I'm talking about. But here, I think this could have happened, to where when Thanos doesn't return, it doesn't mess up the original timeline. It just creates this branched off new one, to where, voila. Now that's there, so this is its own thing. So let me just brush that off again. And my first time travel video I had made, in general, was why I think time travel is next to impossible, and I explained this whole paradoxical cycle thing. Check that out if you want to. But my point I'd made in there is that the only way two different timelines could exist without one rewriting the other or the like is if a new reality or timeline is created. Meaning both of them have a location in space to take place simultaneously. So when I had those different timelines branching off, I think that it takes place in another space and location, preferably in the form of a universe. So if these take place in another space, but happening at the same time, so here's the branch from 2012 going onward from the Loki thing. Now this branch timeline also has its own 2013 and 2014. So what would prevent the Avengers going from 2023 in their universe to going to the 2014 of another universe? What would prevent the Avengers going from 2023 to 2014 of this alternate reality and that Thanos going to 2023? Just rewriting that timeline the way it is. Now, I'm not saying that Thanos is the one of the new Loki area. I'm just using that as an example. I don't think this at all. I think this Thanos is one of another alternate reality branch or whatever. So, if these are different universes that are being created as soon as the time thing happens, they take place in other points of space. There's nothing really preventing the Avengers from going into a different universe or space area, because that's really what they're maneuvering, time and space. But to which time and space? What it seems like currently is that as soon as an Avenger group goes into the past, it immediately creates a new reality, because with the Avengers going to 2012 to get the 3 different Infinity Stones, they inevitably would have screwed up letting Loki get the Space Stone. And with Thanos, as soon as that squad entered 2014, that Thanos was going to inevitably discover time travel and go to 2023. Pretty much it seems as soon as you time travel, new reality is created. Well, what if this wasn't exactly the case? What if all these universes were already here beforehand? As in, what if there's already multiple different alternate timelines or slightly different alternate timelines which were very identically the same to where the Avengers went from that point to another? So let me back up a bit. So one character that was seen in Avengers Endgame and the first person to introduce the multiverse topic was the Ancient One. I'm pretty much just going to use 2 different points of time here. I'm not going to use 2023, I just left that up there. There's going to be some unknown date on the far left and 2016 on the far right. I have 2016 there because that is when the Ancient One dies. And that is also when the Doctor Strange movie took place. So, there, that Ancient One tells Doctor Strange that she had used the Time Stone to undo her deaths many times. Meaning, she would have done something different each time, having more knowledge, doing stuff like that. Somewhat rewriting the time stream. So, I think the Ancient One went from 2016 to this unknown restarting point. You know, I have a green line here because the Time Stone's green. And then here, many different alternate timelines were created by her just reliving her life again. Now, let me just erase some of this stuff here because I don't need it. I just need from this branching off point to 2023 or onward. Still, there's different points of time within these different timelines. It's not like a whole new reality. It's still different points of time here. So what if the Avengers went from 2023 of their universe to different points of time in these other universes or different areas of space where there is a new timeline? There's nothing preventing the Avengers from doing this. To where then, they would rewrite these timelines or just end up continuing these timelines. Because here's what I think about time travel. If you're going to pop up in another universe or another space that doesn't jeopardize yourself and you change something drastic, you're safe because that doesn't affect you. That doesn't create a paradoxical cycle as long as it doesn't affect the people causing a change. So here, this is how everything's safe because the Avengers are going into new territory pretty much to where it's okay to be tampered with opposed to their own timeline, and that would jeopardize the whole timeline as I had said in that last video. Now, it doesn't have to look all squiggly and messy like this, but still. Now, I don't have 2013 here because literally nothing was changed, but still, 2012 and 2014 onward, when it comes to this, is safe to be tampered with. That's all I'm saying. So, what do I think about Captain America, as I have on my shirt here? What do I think he did? Well, my first thought was, what if he went to, like, some early point, maybe even 1960, right after he would have fallen into the ice, to hang out with Peggy, maybe change his identity, but within the normal time stream, the one that I had seen as the default up there. Now, I could have seen him as doing that, doing absolutely nothing, but others have speculated, what if he didn't change a new timeline to where he stops Hydra from starting in S.H.I.E.L.D., saves Bucky from not being a part of Hydra, you know, maybe even stops 9/11 because he knows that's coming up, you know, does all these other things, but then visits the normal timeline just to give the shield to Falcon. Or Sam Wilson, I should say. I could see either of those working because I think the platforms, if you watch that original time travel Avengers Endgame video I made, first off, please forget about it. And second, I'm changing what I thought the platforms do. In Avengers Endgame, currently, I think the platforms are just used for an exact location of space to go back to. Because I think the Steve Rogers, if he did live in a new timeline for a while, I think he just went to a different area nearby or something, or maybe normal New York and just walked all the way or something. Just enough to where he didn't have to actually use the platform. He could have used an old suit, and like the time travel suit, and go up. But yeah, I don't think he currently would have actually jeopardized anything. Alright guys, that is all I have in this video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this one was much more simpler to understand opposed to my original time travel Avengers Endgame video. But still, all I was trying to say in this video was that the timeline is safe in Avengers Endgame if we look at it as alternate realities or timelines being created as soon as someone time travels in the past. And that it is possible for a person to go from one timeline into another because it's safe, because they can't jeopardize their own timeline and the such. It's just logic. If you don't jeopardize yourself, it doesn't jeopardize your motives, so it's okay to change that timeline onward. It may be complicating, but may make sense. Feel free to comment below if you still need help understanding. So please give this video a like, subscribe if you're not already, and with that, sayonara.